Welcome to today's discussion, Stop Suicide Campaign. We're bringing a story to you that one of our reporters keeps bringing to us different stories. And this story is very touching and it covers students. I'm Edmonds and this is Stop Suicide Campaign Online. With me on the set today is Ms. Priscilla Raj. Miss Priscilla Raj, could you give a shout out, just a word to our audience out there?
Hello. Hello, sir, and hello, all the viewers. It's great to be here.
Thank you for always being there for us to bring these stories to us so we can analyze them and help people who might fall into them in the nearest future. I would like you to brief this report to us and we'll start the discussion immediately.
Yes, sir. To start with, I would like to introduce and explain that though for the past few years, we have seen students committing suicides over multiple reasons, but in this episode, we are specific on the students who are committing suicides over the failure of their examination. So why do they take such drastic steps? That's what we are bringing in this episode, which you're going to explain. But here is few incidents that took place in the past 1 year. I'm just briefly going to share the screen with you, the news, the incidents that took place, and it's very touching and it needs some remedy.
Yes.
So the first case that was highlighted, it became a major headline, was on 13th July 2022 in Tamil Nadu, in a district where a school student was found mysteriously dead on the school grounds. So that created some kind of panic and protest. On the same day, there was in another school, in another district, was a student who was found dead during the VRs in their hostel room. And then similarly, recently, April 26th, 9 students died because they failed in their 11th and 12th standard. So this was the main incidents that took place during this year. So continuously it has been happening. And at one point of time, Tamil Nadu government, they brought out a scheme saying the Chennai High Court, it requested the Tamil Nadu government to appoint psychiatric counselors in the school. So these are the incidents that happened recently, and it is wild and it's keeping on happening.
Now, I guess while going through these reports which you are presenting to us, there are some questions that's engendering inside of you.
Yes, sir. The first question what I have is, like, students, why do they take such a drastic steps when they fail in the examination? What is the pressure? What is the force? What happens to their mental condition? What is the reason that brings such a, they make such a drastic decisions?
First of all, I think the question you're asking me is not just why, but how. How can we help them not to take such decisions? Because we know apparently that it is because of the emotional, fluctuation of young people. Either they get too excited or they get too depressed. So in the curve or graph of their emotions, we find them either being too emotional or too depressed. So this we call extreme emotions. So here again, I bring the truth that we share in our seminars. When you've come to know who you are, you will not allow the accreditation or conclusion or your marks determine what you think about yourself. But a society is orchestrated in a way that if you are not successful in this level of your exams, your lecturers, your teachers, even family members and loved ones will tell them that they will amount to nothing, that they will be failures in life. Some even go as far as cursing this student if they are not serious, and tell them that they will be on the street, sweeping the street in the future. Haven't you heard people telling students who are not studying that they will sweep the streets?
Yes, I have heard of.
So these things will put in them, will inspire negative force in them not to fail. Not to fail is a great inspiration, but when you are scared, if fear is your inspiration not to fail, when you fail, chances are you will have these tendencies of giving up. However, we have presented over and over again, people are assets, people are important, and they have potentials that is hidden within them. And when they discover that potential, they'll be able to face whatever difficulties that they are having around them. So examination is just one of the difficulties. So I say to all our student friends out there, young people, youth, wonderful, strong people, you're stronger than failure. Failure is just only a tool, a resource in your journey of life. It is not a one-way ticket to destroy your life. It's a resource. If you fail, you pick yourself back up. There is not one success that did not experience failure in one way or the other at one point in life. So pick up yourself and don't go into these extreme graph curves, either too excited or too depressed and down, not able to pick yourself up. Failure is a resource. So don't end your life because you failed. As a matter of fact, history has come to show us that many successful men and women, they are not necessarily educated. Let me put it this way. They are not necessarily highly educated. The elites, they are not necessarily highly educated. That is not to say that you should not be educated and you should embrace failure and say, well, the elites in the society, they are not highly educated. No, but I'm just telling you, failure does not determine your future. You determine your future. What you do with failure, what you do with success. There are also those who are, like I said, extremes. They are successful, and because of that, they do not respect their lecturers, they do not respect their colleagues, they do not respect their fellow students, etc. And they end up bad as well. Theirs may not be suicide, but their life itself is bad because they're extreme in emotions. Do not be extreme in your emotions. Be the way you should be by discovering who you are and your potentials. You have hidden potentials that you need to discover. More we share in our seminars. Do you have any other question, Ms. Raj? We will look into this. Go
yes,
on.
sir. Thank you. It was great that you focused towards the students and you gave them some advice. Now, I wanted to know that students, now when their emotions go up and down, how can they help themselves? How to come out of this? Because do we have any kind of seminars? Do we have any episodes that could, it is not a one-day process. It is a gradual process.
Exactly. Absolutely correct. To control your emotions, you is not a one-time effort or a one-day process. You said, do we have any seminars? Do we have any way? Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we just started our new podcast, Stop Suicide Podcast, where you will hear other students who participated in our seminars, what they got. Right now, we have one particular report there, which you can listen to. You can tell your smart speaker to play Stop Suicide campaign, and then it will be able to play it. And then you will hear the report of how people benefited from our seminars. We do physical seminars. You can use the information on our page or the description in this particular video to reach us. But we have a Stop Suicide podcast where we start to reprogram the mind of young people, reprogram the mind of people who are having signs and symptoms of suicidal tendency, making them know the key thing that we are out here for is to be a common voice to the common citizen in a common nation facing common problems. We just want to be a voice for them and bring awareness to them that this way, if you discover this about yourself, you will recover yourself from giving up and the low attitude and selfish attitude of thinking of only yourself and this situation and not think of someone else. So we do have programs. We do have seminars, physical seminars. You invite us, we're going to come with our team and we're going to present a seminar for you. And we have workshops as well. And we do have weekly podcasts, which if you subscribe to and encourage your facilitators, instructors, your parents, your friends to subscribe to, because when everyone subscribe to that podcast and you understand what we share every week, we have right now we have bi-weekly updates, means twice a week we will be updating. Saturday and Sunday we'll be updating our Stop Suicide podcast feeds. So when you subscribe to it, you'll be able to hear the wonderful things and how we teach people by bringing awareness to them of how they were created to function and what kind of potentials they have and how they can bring out that potentials. Now, when they follow this podcast, little by little, they start to reprogram their mind. They start to hear other students. They start to hear other lecturers. They start to hear other people giving their feedback of how these seminars has blessed them, and they learn. And when we learn, we progress from where we were to where we want to be.
Okay, great, sir. Great. This will be like a treasure to the students and it will definitely help. I have a last question. Now, the students is not by all itself. For example, a plant by itself, it doesn't grow. It needs to be flourished. It needs everything. So student by itself, parents play a vital role in their lives. Teachers play a role. Friends play a role. So can you highlight some prime responsibilities of these people around the students and how they can help them to come out of such suicides and not get such thoughts at all?
Intelligent question, Ms. Raj. Thank you. Kudos for that. See, we were looking at the victims, but now you've shifted our focus from the victims to the accompany of the victims or the social sphere of the victims, where they interact and to whom they deal with. Could be lecturer, could be teacher, could be parents, could be guardian, could be friends, could be neighbors. It doesn't matter which exact place you occupy in that social sphere. And these people are bound to face, everyone are bound to face socio-economical factors that will affect our emotions and pull us down emotionally. So what I have to say to those in this social sphere of the students is to subscribe to our podcast. Get our publications. It will be coming out very soon. Get our publication. Learn. Get to counseling centers. Learn. See other suicidal counselors. See, learn. When you have a program coming up on TV or a print or publication, you learn. You learn how to deal with it. One of the quotes that's from me that I always bring to our seminars is, you don't need to be a professional to give help to someone in need. And that's what brought us out from being an onlooker of suicide and the victims of suicide to a participant where we start to inspire people not to commit suicide. We decided to learn. We decided to know how to come out of this. So one of the best ways we've come to see is the same way suicide comes in, the same way inspiration comes in, through information, through incidences. So we do the same, we inspire. So the advice I have to those in the social sphere of these wonderful students, amazing students who are going through different pressures, who are going through personal conflicts, educational pressure, home pressure, put all of them together. They're going through several pressures. The same information, advice I give to the student, I am giving to those in their social sphere, in their in their contact, learn, get to know the signs of suicidal tendency and how to help people. Just starting a conversation with someone who's depressed can help them out of depression. Making someone discover the beautiful qualities they have and magnifying it when they are feeling down creates in them excitement and recognition that releases endorphin, a chemical that helps you to fight against those moods in you that can cause some kind of terrible vascular diseases in your body and mind as well. So discovering those things, mentioning those positive side of their lives, they can deal with the negative side of their lives. So I advise those, Ms. Raj, who are in this social sphere of these wonderful, amazing students going through these pressures, they should learn. And they should learn to respond to the student in a different way. They shouldn't speak, like I said earlier, you're going to go to the roads, you're not studying, you're playing this, you're doing that, you have boyfriend, you have girlfriend, you're playing games, you're watching this, you're watching that. We have to look into them and bring out the potential that is in them and enlighten them about the positive things that they have, and they can face the bad habits. They can face the challenges that they're going through from the positive side of life. I want to thank you for being part of the program today, Miss Raj.
Thank you, sir. But I would like request you that we continue part 2 of the same topic
I
next
love
week,
to.
because
I want to.
Because there is something I just wanted to give a brief about. There are students who are being bullied, they are being harassed, and tragic incidents happen. So I would request you, if we come up with solutions for such students who are being harassed in another episode, because the time is up already.
Thank you so much for your consistent support and for your untiring efforts to bring us these headlines where we can discuss together and help people who might fall into the same situation in the nearest future. God bless you, ma'am. I want to thank everyone who was part of this particular short discussion. If you think there is something we left out, please send it to us. Use the details in the description. If you think we should handle or discuss certain subject, bring our attention to it. Send us the URL. We should go and check it out. Give us the information, and we'll be so glad to discuss that. Thank you. Drop a comment so we know that you're listening, you're watching from wherever you are. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, Stop Suicide Podcast. Thank you. Till we'll see you again next week.